The sun dipped below the horizon, casting an eerie twilight glow over Kings Park Psychiatric Center. The once magnificent asylum, now a skeletal shadow of its former self, stood in sinister silence. Ivy choked its crumbling walls, and the hollow windows seemed to watch, each shattered pane whispering dark secrets of the past. Sarah Thompson, a journalist known for delving into the macabre, felt a chill of excitement and fear as she approached the asylum. Her investigation into Kings Park had revealed a history rife with horror, tales of abuse, unethical experiments, and patients who had vanished without a trace. With her camera and flashlight, she stepped into the darkness. Inside, the air was thick with the stench of mold and decay. The beam of her flashlight pierced the gloom, revealing rusted gurneys, rotting mattresses, and faded patient records scattered like forgotten memories. The oppressive silence was occasionally broken by the scuttling of rats or the distant echo of a door slamming shut, sending shivers down Sarah's spine. Kings Park had opened in the late 19th century, promising compassionate care but quickly devolving into a nightmarish prison. Overcrowding and neglect led to inhumane treatments, electroshock therapy, ice baths, and lobotomies. Rumors of dark rituals and unholy experiments conducted by deranged doctors swirled in the shadows. Sarah moved deeper into the asylum, her footsteps echoing through the empty halls. As she turned a corner, a faint, ghostly wail echoed through the corridor, freezing her in her tracks. She pressed on, her pulse quickening, until she reached the decrepit records room. Dusty files lay strewn across the floor, each containing the tragic stories of patients who had endured unimaginable suffering. One file stood out: Emily Cartwright, a gifted artist committed in 1923. Emily's records painted a picture of a vibrant young woman whose mind had fractured, leading her family to commit her to Kings Park. But the file ended abruptly, with no record of her fate. Driven by a mix of curiosity and dread, Sarah decided to follow the trail of Emily's story. Her search led her to a remote wing of the asylum, far from the main wards. The walls here were lined with Emily's haunting paintings, their vivid colors stark against the decaying backdrop. Each image depicted scenes of torment and despair, capturing the horrors Emily had witnessed and endured. As Sarah studied the artwork, a sudden chill swept through the corridor, extinguishing her flashlight. In the pitch-black darkness, Sarah's heart pounded. She fumbled to reignite her light, and when it flickered back to life, she found herself face to face with a ghostly apparition. Emily's spectral form floated before her, eyes wide with anguish and desperation. "Help me," the ghostly voice whispered, sending a jolt of terror through Sarah. Summoning her courage, Sarah asked, "How can I help you?" Emily's ghostly finger pointed towards a hidden door at the end of the corridor. Trembling, Sarah approached it and pushed it open. Inside, she discovered a small studio, untouched for decades. Canvases covered the walls, each one capturing the descent into madness. In the center of the room stood an unfinished painting of a serene meadow, starkly contrasting the horror around it. Sarah understood. Emily needed to complete her final piece to find peace. She picked up a paintbrush, her hand shaking, and began to finish the painting. As she worked, the asylum seemed to come alive with whispered voices and shadowy figures lurking just beyond her vision. Hours passed, and as the first light of dawn crept through the broken windows, the painting was complete. Emily's spirit appeared once more, her expression softened with gratitude. "Thank you," she murmured, her voice echoing like a distant breeze. Emily's form began to dissolve, and with it, the oppressive weight of the asylum's dark history seemed to lift. Sarah felt a sense of accomplishment, but also a lingering unease. She knew she had only scratched the surface of Kings Park's haunted past. As Sarah exited the asylum, the sun rose higher, casting an ethereal glow over the decaying structure. She had uncovered one story, but many more spirits remained trapped within those haunted halls, their cries for help waiting to be heard. The haunting history of Kings Park Psychiatric Center remained a chilling testament to the horrors that had unfolded within its walls, a place where the line between sanity and madness blurred, and the echoes of the past refused to be silenced.